Let me ask someone. Let me ask you, Sai. How do I get from 18 to 27?
Add 9.
That's right. I have to add 9. So, again, my handwriting isn't the best, but we're working on it. So, if I have to add 9 to get from that square to that square, what do I have to do to get from this square to this square? Arjun, what do I have to do? I have to add 9, don't I? So, what is 27 add 9? What's 27 add 9, Arjun?
36.
36, good boy. So that one is 36. Now, Leo, if I move this way, I have to add 9. So what am I going to have to do to go the other way?
Minus 9.
I'm going to have to minus 9. That's right, good boy, well done. So what is 18 minus 9, Leo?
9.
9, perfect. So if you have both of those answers, you give yourself 1 mark. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody for the next bit so I can talk. All right, so for this next one, I still have to find the rule of the sequence. So to get from 250 to 225, I have to take away 25. So 225 take away 25 is 200. And then I have to take away 25 from 200, which gives me 175. Yes, Anne-Marie, what's the matter?
Elodie isn't here because she thinks you're on live on YouTube.
Sorry, well, I've emailed everybody's mummy, so that's fine. It'll go onto YouTube later. If you could get your mummy to let Elodie's mummy know that we're on Zoom, okay?
Okay, but I'm on her phone right now, so I'm gonna text.
Okay,
I'll get
right. Right, so if you have both of those numbers, you also get a mark, okay? What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to work through each page, and then if you have any questions, we'll stop at the end of each page, okay? Okay, so circle the fractions equivalent to 1/4. So what we need to do is we need to work out if I times any of my numerators by 4, any answer that is the same as what the denominator is equivalent. So 2 times 4 is 8, so we know that this is an equivalent fraction, yeah, because 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8. We move along. 4 times 4, it's not 10, it's 16, so this isn't an equivalent fraction. 3 times 4 is 12, so that is an equivalent fraction. And 1 times 4 isn't 6, so that's not an equivalent fraction. Okay, so 2 8ths and 3 12ths are the equivalent fraction. For each one of those you got right, you get 1 mark. So if you got both, you get 2 marks. Okay, give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, okay, number 3. Now, it's given us a sum with some digits missing. Now, we can see here, it's an addition symbol because we put our addition symbols in our sums, don't we, Takayoshi? Okay, so what we have to do here, we know that something plus 1 equals 9. So to work out what this digit is, I'm going to have to use my inverse. So I'm going to use 9 take away 1, which is 8. Okay, so this next one, 4 plus something equals 1. Now that doesn't make any sense. So what we have to know is that this isn't going to be 1, this is actually going to be 11. And we're going to be carrying a 1 over because we know that 3 plus nothing isn't 4. So we have to have a 1 to add on here. So it's actually 4 plus something equals 11. 4 plus 7 equals 11. So the missing digits are 7 and 8. For each digit you got correct, give yourself a mark. Okay. So Marcus needs to measure 225 milliliters of milk for a recipe. Draw a line to show 225 milliliters here. So we've done this before, haven't we? So we know that we've got to work out which each increment is to work out. Yes, Anne-Marie, what's up? Sorry, Anne-Marie, say again.
Each increment is 50.
Each increment is 50. Good girl. That's right, because there are 10 increments and 500 divided by 10 is 50. Good girl. So I need to start from 0 and count up in 50s and work out where it's going to be. So 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Now, this causes a bit of a problem because we need 225 milliliters, but this is 200 and this is 250. So who am I going to ask? I'm going to ask Petra. Right, Petra, what do I have to do here then? Because I don't understand, because there's no 225 milliliter increment.
Half the increment.
Half of the increment, that's right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my line. So 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. So my line is going to be halfway between 200 and 250. Okay, if your line is drawn there. So anywhere, because I'm feeling generous today, sort of anywhere roughly in the middle between these two increments will get you the mark. So that's the case. Give yourself a mark if that's where you've drawn your line. Okay, right. I am going to unmute everybody. Okay, now, because this is going to be crazy otherwise, if you have a question so far, just pop your hand up so I can answer it for you. So, any questions so far? Petra, what's up?
My mum accidentally marked it yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're marking it twice, so we can double check that all of your answers are correct. That's fine. All right. Any more questions before we move on? Carmen, what's up?
While he's talking, you've got to do it.
Oh, Carmen, hang on 1 second.
You're marking it, you don't know.
Right, there we go. Carmen, go on.
I decided to unmute me.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Anne-Marie, what's up?
My mum kind of also marked my homework yesterday.
That's fine. Well, that saves me a bit of a job, but we'll mark it anyway because obviously not everyone will have marked it. So this will go on YouTube later for everybody, so that's not a problem. Okay, so I'm going to mute everybody now so we can go through the next bit. If you have a question while you're muted, just pop your hand up and I will unmute you and you can ask your question.
It's fun.
Okay, so here is an analog clock. Write the time on the digital clock. So what we have to do for digital time is we write the hour first. So this hour hand here is pointing at the 5. So this needs to be either 05 if it's the morning or 17 if it's the afternoon. Okay, because that's how digital time works now. So 05 or 17 for your hours. Now we know that there are 12 increments around a clock and an hour is 60 minutes. So each increment is going to be 5 minutes because 60 divided by 12 is 5. So we've got to count in 5s from 12 until we get to where our minute hand is pointing. So our minutes should say 10. Okay, our hours should say either 05 or 17. Either one is correct for the mark. If you've written 0510 or 1710, you can have the mark. Yes, Carmen.
What about if you just have 5?
No, because you need the minutes as well. Oh, so if you've written 5, what, here in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's, oh, no, I won't give you the mark because it's digital time, so you need the 05, okay? So 05 or 1710 is correct. All right, so with 5B, here is a digital clock. Draw the time on the analog clock face. So here's our analog clock. Oh, hi, Elodie, you've just joined us. How you doing? Good. Okay. Elodie, have you got your paper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So, right, everybody's muted. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, we have to draw the hands on the face. So the longer hand is going to be the minutes, which we know is this bit here. And the shorter hand is going to be the hour, which is this bit here. So our hour hand can go from here about halfway towards the 11. Nice and simple. Now our minute hand says 35. Now we learned here that each increment on a clock is 5 minutes. So we count up in fives from here until we get to 35. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So our long minute hand should be pointing towards the 7. That will get you the mark. So your analog clock should look like this. All right. Who's that I can hear? Come on. Okay, so now we're going to move down. So, a class of children collected information about which flavoured crisps children preferred. They collected information in a table and presented it in a pictogram. Complete the table and pictogram on the next page. So we're going to have to quickly go between the two here. So we have to find out how many children said ready salted crisps. So what we do is we look at the pictogram. If we know that each packet of crisps is 2 children, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packets of crisps. So what we have to do is 6 times 2, which, as we know, because we all know our times tables, 6 times 2 is 12. Now, again, we need all of these correct, including the table and this here for the mark. Okay, so the answer is 12. I'm still getting used to all of this. I am sorry. Right, so salt and vinegar. Let's have a look. So salt and vinegar, we go down to salt and vinegar. We have 1, 2, 3, 4.5 packets. Now, if only in the last couple of weeks we multiplied decimals, that would be really, really easy. If only we'd done that in a lesson, this would be really simple, wouldn't it? So we have to do 4.5 times 2. We can certainly do this. We can do 4 times 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And then we've got half a packet, and we know 1 is half of 2. So it's 8 plus 1. So there are 9 salt and vinegars. Okay, so 9 people chose salt and vinegar. I'm not going to write it down because we all know what the number 9 looks like. Anne-Marie, take your hood off. Right. Okay, so cheese and onion. We'll come on to that one in a minute. So barbecue, we've got a blank space. So we need to go down to barbecue. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5. So each crisp packet is 2 children. So we've got 6.5 crisp packets. We know that 6 times 2 is 12. And we know that half of 2 is 1. So really, really tricky sum of 12 plus 1. Ooh, let me have a think. That is, now I'm no maths teacher, but I think that's 13. Okay, so there are 13 children that said yes to barbecue. So we should have 12 for ready salted, 9 for salt and vinegar, and 13 for barbecue. If you have all of those numbers, give yourself the mark. So just very quickly, so we should have 12, 9, 13. Your table should look like that. Okay. Now our pictogram, we need to remember there are 6 people that said yes to cheese and onion. We have to draw the packets of crisps here to get the right answer. So there were 6 cheese and onions. Each packet is 2 children. So Tobin, how many packets of crisps am I going to need to draw?
3.
3, you are correct. 3 packets of crisps. So again, I am not any good with this so far, but let's pretend these are packets of crisps. 1, 2, 3. 3 packets of crisps gets you the mark. Okay. Now, before we move on to the next question, that was the end of the page. Hands up if you've got any questions about what's happened so far. Who's this? Oh, there's a big thumb in front of the screen. I can't see whose hand that is. Victoria, your hand is covering the screen, sweetheart.
Yeah. Are we supposed to, because at the bottom of the page there's a total for this page, did we fill that in?
You can do that after we've done that. Okay, we're just going to mark
Okay.
today. You can do that later. Okay, but that's a good question.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so where are we? All right, so now number 7. Order the following numbers from smallest to largest. Now we've done lots of ordering. We know that we have to do. We know that we've got to do it in this order, don't we? We've got to do smallest, then largest, and then with what's left, we do the smallest and largest again. So we got to work out the smallest one of these numbers. We know that the smallest one, looking at the digits, is 681. So we cross that out. Now we've got to find this one here because we do the largest next. So the largest number, looking at the two numbers that have 4 digits, is going to be 1608. Again, my handwriting's not great with this pen. I am working on it. So now we've got 2 squares left and 2 numbers. So all we've got to do is find the smallest and the largest of those 2 numbers and put them in the right place. So the smallest one is the one with 3 digits, which is nice and simple. So 816 and then 1086. Okay, if you've got all 4 of those in the right order, give yourself the mark. Yes, Anne-Marie, what's the matter?
I accidentally wrote 186 instead of 1086.
Okay, so because you've not written the number down correctly, you can't have the mark for that one, okay? That's why, because the numbers are given us here, we've got to make sure we're copying them. Just like with comprehension, if it gives us something to copy, we've got to make sure we copy it correctly, okay? Right. Okay, so this one is all about word problems and working out the equation that we need to solve the word problems. If only we'd done lots of work on word problems and how to work out what to do, that would be really helpful, wouldn't it? So in 4 packets of felt pens, there are 72 pens. There are 6 different colors equally shared among each pack. So there's a word in here that is going to tell me my operation straight away. So who am I going to ask? I'm going to ask Leo. So Leo, which word in this question tells me my operation?
Shared.
Shared, that's right. Shared gives us exactly what it's going to be. So what shared means what, Leo? Which operation?
Division.
Division. So we know we can cross out straight away the multiplication. So we know it's going to be one of these 2. Right, Leo, I'm going to mute you now. Thank you very much. So there are 6 different colors equally shared. So who am I going to ask? Victoria. So Victoria, there are 6 different colors equally shared. So what are we dividing 72 by?
6.
6. You are correct. 6 is the correct answer. So you should have circled 72 divided by 6. If you have, give yourself the mark. Okay. Now, again, looking at 8b. Again, one word in here will tell us which operation we can be using. So an order is, who's muted? I'm going to mute Victoria, I'm going to mute Anne-Marie. There we go. So an order is placed for 9 packets of pencil sharpeners. Each packet costs 58p and contains 15 sharpeners. How many sharpeners are ordered? Now, it doesn't say anything here about sharing. So we know it's probably not going to be division. So because of that, we know it's going to be multiplication. So each packet costs 58p. Yeah, so an order is placed for 9 packets of pencil sharpeners. Each packet contains 58p and contains 15 sharpeners. So what I have to do, it says here there are 9 packets in total and there are 15 sharpeners in each packet. So to work out how many pencil sharpeners there are, it's 9 times 15. It's not 58 because that's how much it costs. If it was asking us to work out the cost, then it would be one of these 2, but it's not. It's asking us how many sharpeners, okay? So 1 mark for each of those correct. Right, give me a thumbs up if this is making sense so far. Yeah, give me a big thumbs up if it's making sense so far. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Sai, are you still with us? Sai, are you still there? We can't see you. Oh, there you are. You're still there. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. Now, match the lines to the mathematical description. Now, horizontal and vertical, we've talked about this. Okay, so this is really nice and simple. We don't have to spend too much time on this one. Horizontal means going across, vertical means going up and down. Yes, Anne-Marie?
My mom told me something that makes sense before. Horizontal means something like on the horizon.
Yes, on the horizon. That's a good way to think about it. The horizon goes across, doesn't it, when you're looking at the sunset? Excellent. Well done, Marie. Okay, so let's get rid of that. All right, now, Roman numerals. Now, we haven't done too much on Roman numerals just yet, so you're going to have to let me explain this one, okay? It's a bit conscious of time. Hopefully the meeting doesn't kick us out in 13 minutes, otherwise we'll have to do a second one. Okay, so write the following as Roman numerals. Now, because we've not done too much on this yet, I'm just going to tell you the answer and we're going to move on and we will look into doing some Roman numerals after Easter. Okay, so L means 50, X means 10, and IV means 4. So we've got 50, 10, 10, 4. 50, add 10, add 10, add 4 is 74. 74 is the correct answer. Okay, now this one is a little bit tricky, so you're going to have to bear with me. So, for this one, a pizza seller sells 2 pizzas for £9. How much would 6 pizzas cost? First thing we've got to do is work out how many lots of £9 we're going to have to do. So, we're going to divide 6 by 2. Which is 3. So we know we are going to have to do 3 lots of £9. Okay, so 9 times 3. Oh, I really need to get better at this. Right, 9 times 3 is 27. So the answer is not just 27, it's 27 pounds. You have to have the pound sign for the mark. Okay, no pound sign, no mark. All right. It's nice and quick. Let's move on. We are making excellent time, guys. Very, very impressed. So, circle the correct answer to each equation. Oh, dividing by tens and hundreds. We've done lots of this. Right, Amber, I'll be within a minute. So, 34 divided by 10. We have to move each digit to the right by 1 column. So, we're moving our units to a tenths and our tens to our units. So, show you very quickly. So this goes to here and becomes a 4. This goes to here and becomes a 3. Hello, Arjun, you're back with us. Right, so 3.4 is the correct answer. Now, because there are 2 zeros in 100, we are having to move everything 2 columns to the right, which means our answer is 5.91. Ooh, get rid of that. Yeah. Right. Okay. All making sense so far. Right, so let's have a look at question 13 together. Any questions so far? Hands up. Or are we okay? Right, okay. So, question 13, it says, a class of children take part in throwing a tennis ball competition. They record the results in the following bar chart. Now, we've just done bar charts, so that makes things nice and easy. Right, so we've got here on our y-axis number of children and our x-axis the distance that they threw, and it's grouped them into different distance groups. So how many children's results are recorded in the chart? So what we have to do here is we are going to work out how many children are in each category and add them all together. So our sum here, we've got 8 children in the first block, we've got 10 children in the second block, we've got 6 children in the third block, and then a number between 4 and 6, so it has to be 5. And then in our last block, we've got a number between 0 and 2, so that has to be 1. Okay, so 8 plus 10 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. 29 plus 1 is 30. So the answer is 30 children. We should have 30 written down in our box like this. Okay, so if you've got 30, you can have the mark. Now, it says how many children threw the ball more than 20 meters? So it's not just this bar, okay? Everybody that threw the ball more than 20 meters is everybody in this box here. These are the children that threw it between 21 and 30 meters, but more than 20 is everybody in this section. So what we have to do is 6 plus 5 plus 1. So the answer is here is 12. Okay, so 6 plus 5 plus 1 is 12. So the answer is 12. Okay. It's not a box, you are correct, but I'm doing my best. Right, Anne-Marie, what's the matter?
When I looked at my sheet and I looked at the chart, I saw it moving.
Well, okay. So here are 2 angles. Label, right, Anne-Marie, I'm going to mute you again. So, any questions so far? Hands up if you've got any questions. No, we're all good so far. Okay. So number 14. Here are 2 angles. Label the angles either acute or obtuse. Now, we did lots of work on angles. We know acute angles are nice and small because they are less than 90. So this angle is less than 90. This angle is acute. I'm just going to write A because you know what that means. And this angle is O for obtuse. You have to write the whole word. Don't just write O and A. That was nice and simple. Right. Okay, now looking at this question, it says here are 3 angles labeled A, B, and C. We've got to put them from smallest to largest. So again, just like we did with our last ordering, smallest, then largest, and there'll only be 1 left in the middle. So the smallest, nice and simple, is B. The largest, now the largest one is A because it's the only one that is obtuse, which means that C is the one in the middle. So it should say B, C, A. We are whizzing through this, guys. Not long left to go. Hopefully we should get done before the meeting kicks us out. So use the signs less than, more than, or equal to make each of the following correct. Now, £1, 64, 164 pennies. We know that there are 100 pennies in a pound. So we have to times £1, 64 by 100 and move each digit 2 columns to the left. So 1.64 times 100, we're moving everything along, which means this is going to be equal. Now, 600 millilitres, half a litre. Now, Victoria, where's Victoria? Is she still here? Or is she gone? Now, I always ask Victoria how many litres are in a litre, which is 1,000. So half a litre is going to be 500. So we know that 600 is more than 500. So it's, there we go, this symbol here. Now, 0.5 kilograms, that's half a kilogram. There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So half of 1,000 is 500. So we know that 500 is way more than 75. So that is correct. Okay. Lovely. Right, we're going to move on. Any questions on those? Anne-Marie.
Are we allowed to use blue pen?
Anne-Marie, that wasn't a question about what I was asking, but if you've only got a blue pen, that's absolutely fine.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Now, this next question is going to take a little bit of explaining, so you're going to have to just listen. I'm going to try and go through it as nice and quickly as I can. So, Hopefully we don't get kicked out. We may get kicked out before we finish question 17. If we do, that's not a problem. I will upload that to YouTube separately. So let's have a look here. Now, Devinder empties his money box. Calculate how much money he has altogether. Write the answer in pounds using a decimal point. So what I did here, if I show you, here's how I solved it. So if you can see my screen, I worked out how many there were of each coin, and then I added all of those coins together. So there's one 1p, there are two 3p's. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that in my little bit of the screen? I don't know if that. So what I will do, let me. Right, so we'll have a look at that in a minute. So the answer is £7.42. Okay, so there's one 1p. There's one 1p. There are three 2p's, which is 6, and so on and so on and so on. So the way I would like to do it, I'm not going to be able to give you the best explanation because you might not be able to see my screen, but you have to work out how many of each coin there are and add them together. So adding those all up together, I got 742 pennies. Now 742 pennies is £7.42. Okay, so we're going to whiz forward, and then that should be the end of the paper. So, yes, Elodie, what's the matter?
I wasn't here for questions 1 to 3.
That's not a problem. So what's going to happen after we finish this meeting, I'm going to, because I'm recording the screen at the moment, so I'm going to put that recording on the YouTube channel so you'll be able to watch the whole thing when it's done, okay? So if you've missed any questions, that's fine. You'll be able to see it later. Yes, Leo, nice quickly.
Aren't the lions £1?
The lions are £1, yes. There's 3 £1.
And a £5 note.
Oh, and the £5 note. I've missed the £5 note. That's my fault. So the answer is £12.42. You are correct, Leo. My apologies. Oh, that one's going to be embarrassing for me on YouTube, getting a question wrong. But that's okay. So £12.42 is the correct answer. Leo, my apologies. House point for you when we get back to school. Okay. So £12.42 is the correct answer. You'll have to teach tomorrow's math lesson, Leo, because you're obviously better than me. So, all right, so number 17, final one. So plot the following squares, following square in this coordinates grid. So we know that the first number in coordinates is the x-axis. Now, I'm very aware of time, so I'm just going to plot these. So 3, 1 means 3 on the x-axis, 1 on the y-axis. Okay, so there is the first one. 7, 3. So we're going to go to 7 on our x-axis and up to 3, like so. Now 5 and 7. We've got to go to 5 here and all the way up to 7. And then our last one, 1, 5. So we go to 1 on our x-axis and all the way up to 5. Now, okay, that is what our square should look like. Okay, those should be our 4 points. Now, if you got all 4 of those points correct, you get 2 marks. If you got 3 of them correct, you get 1 mark. If you only got 2 correct or 1 correct, you can't have any marks for that one, I am afraid. Okay,